next one, we are going to be going back in time a little bit, and we'll catch up very quickly with where we left off in chronological order. Uh, this episode, we are going to start a new topic. We're going to start a new text, and this is going to be the focus for the rest of the school year. It's going to be on slavery and eventually the breakup of our country with the fighting of a civil war. But it starts in 1819 for this chapter. There was a request by the slaveholding territory of Missouri to join the Union as a state in 1819. This will spark a angry debate that many people, including former President Jefferson, Secretary of State at that time, John Quincy Adams, uh, they're going to realize that this is unavoidable. There is nothing that we can do while we are still creating slavery in states that are joining the nation. This is going to get out of hand. It's only a matter of time. Many Missouri settlers had brought slaves with them into the territory. By 1819, the Missouri Territory is going to include 10,000 slaves and 50,000 whites. When Missouri applies for Congress, they are going to do so as a slave state. A constitution that they write for their state will allow slavery. In 1819, 11 states in the Union permitted slavery and 11 did not. We are going to call this the balance of power. Every state is balanced by another state. One free state will balance one slave state. This doesn't matter in any way except for the fact that the Senate has 2 members from every state. The Senate is half of our Congress. There's, at this point, since there are 22 states, there are 44 senators, 44 members who are very powerful when it comes to writing laws, and the Senate is evenly balanced between slave states and free states. Now, there's no rule saying that a free state senator has to vote for slavery or against slavery issues. However, the state will vote these people in, and if many people are upset by what they do, by the laws that they vote for or vote against, they have a lot of incentive to do what the people want them to do. And if the people of a free state don't want slavery to spread or don't want slavery to be favored in any way, then they are going to use the power of the ballot, the power of their vote, to make sure these senators do what they're told to do, more or less. The admission of a new state will be upsetting to that balance. It will displace one side or the other. The 11 states who are free will get a 12th state if Missouri was free, and the 11 states that will get Missouri as a 12th state if it was a slave state. So the Senate is going to be very, very concerned with adding any new states because they have to either be states that illegalize slavery and don't allow it, or states that do allow it. So the North and the South will not be able to agree on how to conduct any business, including new states, into our country. This was something that was bound to happen. The North and the South have very different economic systems. They're both competing for new land. So, new Western territory is something that everybody wants. Every state that is going to be made out of this new territory has to make a decision about slavery. The number of Northerners want to restrict slavery, ban it even, and Southerners who dislike even people who do dislike slavery, are going to oppose anyone trying to stop it. They resent interference by outsiders more than anything. The Southerners want the South to be in control of themselves, and they don't want Northerners coming in and getting in their business. This is loyalty to their particular region, and though it's kind of fuzzy in the textbook, it is what we have been talking about with sectionalism. Sectionalism is going to be the heart of this dispute for many. So, what are we going to do about it? We can't not have new states if everybody wants new states. We're going to have to figure out a way to get what everybody wants and avoid the problems that come with it. So Henry Clay of Kentucky, somebody we should know well by now, the Speaker of the House of Representatives at that time, he proposed a solution. We've talked about this subject before, so if this sounds familiar, you're doing the right thing. Clay suggested that Congress admit Missouri as a slave state, as they want to do, and Maine, who had raised their hand and said, we want to break away from Massachusetts and apply for admission into the Union as a separate state, since they're in the North, they would like to have a slave-free state, a state that illegalizes slavery. So Clay is going to find that this is the easiest solution that will make everybody happy, because what it really does is it keeps the balance of power. Both the North and the South can allow two states in at a time, one for a free state, one for a slave state, and this is how it's going to go. Now, his proposal is going to prohibit slavery from any territory acquired in the Louisiana Purchase. That is not the entire West Coast, not California, not Texas, not Washington, and the areas on the West Coast that we haven't acquired yet, but the Louisiana Purchase that Jefferson bought in 1803, a large piece of land, but anything to the north of a certain line of latitude, a certain height on the map, we are going to illegalize slavery, except for Missouri, which is north of that latitude. Every other territory, when it becomes a state, will become a free state. The proposal is known as the Missouri Compromise, and what it does, what you need to remember for your essay and for this lesson, is that it preserves the balance of power between free states and slave states. And it is going to stop the bitter debate for a little while. The underlying cause of the debate has not been resolved. It is a slavery issue, and slavery still exists. It just has a couple extra rules for the Missouri pass Missouri and Maine into be a state, but you will find shortly that this will come right back, and we will be there to talk about it. So you guys enjoy your day, and I will see you on the next one.